Thank you for joining.
No. Oh. On my phone.
Like, or we have to carry pepper spray or something.
I would for dogs,
Oh.
but people, no.
I mean, just because you guys are women, I mean, I don't think it would hurt, but yeah. I mean, no one's filling out the card like, oh, I hope that this is a woman that's gonna come and tell me something. You know what I mean? Like,
If they have a fence along the sidewalk that keeps you physically from approaching the house, I would call them or honk the horn. I wouldn't go through the fence and walk up to the house without calling them first, because a dog might come charging around the corner.
Right.
That's my only thing.
yeah. Yeah, usually, like, if you, like, kind of, like, shake the gate,
Yeah.
you know, shake it for, like, a good 10 seconds.
Make a bunch of noise.
If the dog doesn't come out,
Yeah.
I mean, he's either deaf or he's not a dog. We're not very good. Yeah. But, yeah. So that's the example of a jerk. Also, an example of a jerk would be that lady that had the baker's life.
I'm not calling you.
I went. Remember that one day you had like three possible replacements that you reset,
Okay.
and I was like, shoot, let me just go with you and see if we can close one.
Oh yeah. She was a jerk.
Yeah. So this lady just got a baker's life policy. Okay. And well, first off, she wouldn't let us in because her son has to be here. Her son has to be here. That's red flag number one. That's a smoke screen. So they're like, all right, whatever, peace. We're walking out, and then all of a sudden, here comes her son, like, right up the sidewalk. So we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then I just followed the son in. Oh, yeah, your son's here. Just followed him in. I was like, all right, we can make our way to the table right over here. Just, like, walk like 10 feet into the house. All right, let's make our way to the table, and just took control. And jerks just don't like other people to take control. And so she had this policy, but you used to do that with water, right?
Well, I call it the magic policy. They won't show you the policy, but they'll be talking about how great it is and how much better it is than anything you could possibly do. And, if they'd actually show us the policy, we could do a side-by-side comparison.
How do you compare it? How do you combat that?
But they don't. They won't show it to you. They're just jerks. They just want to tell you that, that's very expensive. I pay much less than that. Mine's way better. Okay, can we see it? I'll be happy to. And then they'll just keep changing the subject, talking about how they're suspicious of you, you're trying to rip them off, accuse you of all kinds of stuff, even though you're there to help them.
You want to know what's interesting? What the best way to do it, is obviously if they have a magic policy, I always ask them, all right, how much coverage is it for? How much are you paying a month? What company is it with? And then, later on, this will be a different training, but later on, I tell them if they can go ahead and grab the policy for me quick, that'd be great. If you have the proper authority, proper control, they're going to get up right away and go grab it. And some of them will lie to you, say that, I have it locked in the safe. Oh, where's the safe at? I can't tell you. Sturdy, they come stupid. And so they won't pull it out for whatever reason. All right, cool. What company is it with? And then we get them on the phone. Sometimes they'll be close. Guess what? I'm not moving forward. So that's going to be the reason why they buy or don't buy. I ain't moving forward. Just like what he's saying, they have the magic policy. You know what's funny? 9 times out of 10, they don't have anywhere close to what they think they have. Kind of interesting. You would think that people would have a better idea.
So that's you need, right? Those appointments, or do you need?
What I'll do is I'll reset the appointment. Like, if I just don't move forward, I don't move forward at all. So I try calling the company, and then I put them on speaker. So don't tell them that I'm here. Just tell them who you are, give them your social, and tell them how much ask them how much coverage you have and what you think. And if the company's closed, then I'll reset them for the next day in the morning. A lot of the companies are on the East Coast. Something about being in California. And then I come back the next day. There's this lady. I came back the next day, called Lincoln Heritage, and she had this policy that I know that the agent lied on it. Because she has all these. She had a stroke like 2 years ago, and it sounds like she got the policy right after she had a stroke. And I know that's one of the questions on Lincoln Heritage side. There's no way, like how competitive it is. There's no way that I just told the truth. So, I mean, you're not going to sit there and convince someone that the agent lied. It's impossible. You know what I mean? They don't know you. They know him. They trusted him. They bought him. So I just reset it again for next week. So tomorrow is going to be the third time I came to this lady's house, but you got to do it the right way. Otherwise, you're just going to go with it. I'd rather get the sale 2 weeks from now than never. Actually be able to help the person. So, yeah, it's funny with Wendell. When he came with me, this lady had like 4 or 5 policies, and they were all like $1,000 or $2,000 worth of coverage each. And when I first got there, I was asking her how much coverage she has. She said she had like 16. She told me she had 16, and she was paying some ridiculously low monthly premium. And after we got off the policies and everything, she had like 6 or 10 or 8, something like that, like significantly lower. And so, who would you rather sell to? Someone that has 6,000 or 16? Pretty obvious. Like there's a need, right? So, anyway, what were we talking about? The skeptic. Yeah. So, do you have any stories on skeptics?
Well, skeptics can be good because you do the old feel, felt, found on them. It's as old as time with sales. I understand why you feel that way. I would feel that way too. I was helping a gentleman last week who felt that way. What we found was, blah, blah, blah. But if you can be their friend, after a little resistance at the beginning, then you're their guy, and they're going to brag to other people that they got an insurance guy. And if you're that guy, then you're good. So you gotta kind of give a little and work around and listen. It's hard to stay on script and listen. It's
right.
a juggling act.
Right.
But that's what you do with stuff.
Yeah, you just gotta, like you said, like How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a very important book. Getting people to laugh, getting people to trust you, and I keep them laughing all throughout the presentation. Like, there's no amazing jokes on my script. Just the way that I act, the way that I say things, it just breaks the ice and gets them laughing. And, they just can't tell me no. So.
And you validate their concern. You
always want to agree.
Yeah, you don't want to put them on the defensive that their concern, no matter how ridiculous, is ridiculous. You want to be like, oh yeah, I see why you would think that, because you're concerned about this and that, even though, if they're worried about meteors, you're like, I saw a program last week about meteors. Meteors can be really scary. Yeah, I can see where that'd be a concern.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys kind of a scenario that you guys can write down with skeptics, okay? So some of the I don't know what word. Signs. Some of the signs that someone's a skeptic. I had this guy completely took me off guard. The first time it happened, I actually laughed. I was to the end of the presentation, and right after you ask the health questions, you get them in the motion of answering questions, and then I'm like, all right, what's your social? And I get people, even though they don't buy, in the end, they give me their social every time. It's weird. But this guy was like, right when I said what's your social, he was like, let me see your ID. Like right away, like he was like he's done this before or something. I just started laughing, and I just showed him my website, have my license on there and stuff. But that's one person. You got to know how to, what to do. once you get a skeptic. The second one I want to bring up is when I was window, I was signing this lady up, and I got down to the end, and asked for the social, and she wouldn't give it to me. She was like, "Oh, I don't know you. I don't know who you are." I showed her my license, blah 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 blah. Said all the tricks, and she was like, "No, I just don't give out my personal information." And then like the second, I just tried twice, and when she said no again, it was hilarious. I grabbed my stuff and like walked out the door so quick, I was at my car before a window even got to the door. It was hilarious. Get out of it. I just get out of it.
That's a nice thing about being a business for yourself instead of working for someone else. I mean, if you don't like someone, you don't have to put up with their garbage. You can just like.
I mean, I try a couple times. I give the best effort. I mean, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I don't shake their hand. I mean, once they don't buy, once I can't help them, they're dead to me. They're out of my mind. Because I don't want to be thinking about the no sale. I don't want to be thinking about the people I didn't sell. I want to get out of my mind as quickly as possible, and that keeps my mind fresh, keeps me in a good attitude, things like that. I've been doing this for a while now. I still get discouraged. I still get down. So these little things. So, all right, the third type of person, the follower. They're the type of person, and there's still ways that you can blow the sales if they're a follower. Okay. So follower, they're the type of person. Once again, they want to hear your recommendation. People will ask you, well, I have this policy. They bring out the policy. Well, do you think I should cancel this one and get something that you want? I'll say that straight up. And then if you're like, yeah, guess what? The walls is gonna go up, and you can just move the tail. You got to know where to go. But they're gonna.
Come across a client that has a good policy where you don't touch it. You have them on. Okay.
Very, very rarely. Very
if
rarely.
they've had it for 5 years, it's gonna be hard to beat. Because they're 5 years older now.
But with we do have a price buster carrier called Life Shield, and they're like ultra competitive. So we use them. They don't pay very good commissions at all, but they're good to use for when you've had it for 5-10 years. We can bring up that carrier and still beat it. Sometimes if they have like Senior Life or Lincoln Heritage, but yeah. Sometimes we can't do anything, but it's very, very rarely. I mean, most of the time we just blow it out of the water. What's the no sale that you've had with the follower? There's one that you just thought it was a laydown.
I've had them with Lincoln Heritage, where Lincoln Heritage is still fresh on their mind. And even though you can get much more insurance for much less money with us, they still like the silly stuff Lincoln Heritage has because it's still fresh on their mind because we just talked to the agent not that long ago. Like they help you with, I don't know, the casket, or they have a special service that takes your body to the mortuary or some nonsense like that.
Gimmick.
And they'll wind up arguing about why the decision they made 5 months ago was a good decision and get defensive about it. What's some other reasons? You might have just caught them at a bad time. Sometimes people are just grumpy when you're there. Or
they turn into a jerk. You gotta know how to.
Or a lot of times with followers is, as a defensive mechanism, they won't make any decision until their daughter's here, or their son's here, or their dog's here, or their gypsy fortune teller, or whoever it is at the end. They'll come up with. They can't possibly decide anything until their uncle's gardener's brother's, second half of the cousin is here. So I have to talk to him first.
Yeah, that's a smoke screen. Usually they're Usually they're like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're a jerk or a skeptic, but they're dressed as a follower. And then you don't find out until the end. There's little signs sometimes. But that's why with that one, how would you say you engage with combat, getting that?
Well, first off, if I wouldn't just get up and leave. You just hang around, and a lot of times they don't want to be so rude as to ask you to leave. So you talk about the need, and you talk about what funerals they've been to before, and then you circle back to, well, who's going to take care of yours? And what do you have in place? And you just try to dig, try to find the need, keep digging, and then pretend you never heard the objection at all, pretend they didn't say it, and keep moving forward. That's what I would do. It doesn't always work.
Yeah. But what I was asking, and you're not wrong by saying that. I guess what I was asking is like in the script, there's one thing that's there so that you don't get that. And if you do it strong enough, if you solidify it, it's one of those roadblocks that if they don't go through the roadblock with you, you can't help them. You just know you're wasting your time. And what that is it's later in the script, but you guys can write it down. It's the upfront contract. That's what the script is. And basically what we say, it's, you just say, you're going to know after I show you, you're going to know if it's for you or not for you. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, then no problem. You wouldn't have a problem telling me no, would you? And then they have to say, oh, no, I wouldn't. Okay, great. So a simple yes or no here today. Is that clear? And then if they say, usually if they're going to give you that at the end, right then and there they'll say, oh, I usually have to talk to my daughter. Or they'll say, oh, well, I just never make decisions wrong. If they say that, there's another way one thing more to say to solidify it. And then if they don't, if they don't become a follower, deuces. They're not going to buy it. So we'll just take off. So if you get that commitment strong enough, you'll be able to tell after a while. You'll be able to get that commitment strong enough where they'll say, yeah, that's fair. And then you get the commitment again in a different way. Say, yeah, that's fair again. And at the end, this lady the other night, at the end she was like, oh, well, can I call you tomorrow? Guess what I did? No. Okay. No, because remember what we said before? Remember what you agreed to? Miss Mary, this is awkward right now. You told me that you were going to give me a simple yes or no. You said twice that is completely fair and that you wouldn't be afraid to tell me no. I feel kind of weird right now because right now you're telling me that you want to call me tomorrow. You know what I mean? Makes it uncomfortable. Anyway, any questions?
What did you do? Did he call you tomorrow? Or?
Oh, I don't even leave my business.
Oh, so you left.
Yeah. So I usually don't get that at the end. With this lady, it was because she has AAA and the magic policy. But the only thing is she didn't have it yet, so she doesn't have it yet. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, so she has AAA, and they're like, oh, well, if I get life AAA, then I'll get a 30% discount on my car insurance. No. And then
you want to say no, you won't.
Like, who the heck are you? I don't know this guy. I said something out, like, I agreed to the appointment, but he's just sitting here showing me stuff. I've been with AAA for 15 years. Who are they going to come for? John Willie or AAA?
So you wouldn't call this person again, but it's done. So our AAA policies are listed policy?
That's 2-year waiting period. Yeah, anything that's direct to the carrier, always a 2-year waiting period. It's actually very competitive. We can't be, well, maybe with Life Shield we can, but it's really competitive, but at 2-year waiting period. So
what if they had it for 2 years? Is it you see them you can't replace it? Because obviously those 2 years are done. So then
we can, depending on the situation. Depending on the situation. I've never run into one of those before where they already had it. I've never. These people, they don't have AAA. Most of them. Yeah. They can't afford, the AAA membership. That's like a luxury.
And they don't drive.
Yeah, a lot of them don't drive. Yeah. So, anyway. Any questions, guys?
So what would you answer the previous case that, let's say a person already has a policy and then you ask the question, so they ask you, so should I give money?
Well, so most agents, and again, you don't want to go in there looking at the situation like a normal conversation. Okay? So if you just respond the way you would naturally, like it's game over. It's kind of interesting how it's that way, but I promise you, it's definitely a game. So the natural thing would be to be like, well, I can get you something way better. I have 30 companies, I can probably put you in a better position, But guess what? That's going to throw up the wall. Okay? Whatever they have, you got to keep in mind, they have it for a reason. Nobody gets a policy. Yeah, I know this is a scam. I'm going to say this every month. Nobody does that, right? So what they have, they think is the best that they know of, okay? You're coming in there, all of a sudden you say that there's something different. You just got to tread lightly. You got to walk on the edge of it. So what I would say to that one is, I would just say, well, Lincoln Heritage. Okay, it's Lincoln Heritage. Hey, Lincoln Heritage, it's a great company. Now, the only thing with Lincoln Heritage is the agents have access to one company, have access to many, but there are times that Lincoln Heritage is very, very competitive. So I can't tell you right now. What I'll do is I'll just assess the situation, give you the proper recommendation, and then we'll see if I can help you. There's some people I can help, some people I can't. And if you're in the best position, if Lincoln Heritage has you in the best position for you and your family, that's no problem. So that way you just keep that curiosity there. Yeah. So I've known. I remember this one because it hurts even talking about it. Oh my gosh, this guy was a laydown. I walked in there and he was like, yeah, I got this term policy. I shouldn't have got it. Term is horrible. I should not have got this policy. So, and once it looks like a laydown, it stops being a game. And if you're not careful, it stops being a game and he's just like, oh, I'm going to get the tip. You stop being careful. And he was paying like $165 a month, something like that. And I mean, I'm telling you guys, it was a laydown. And I made the mistake of telling him, yeah, I wouldn't have a term. I wouldn't recommend this for my mom or dad. And he asked me that at the beginning. Didn't get the sale. Even though he told me the policy he had, he shouldn't have got.
So why did you not sell it?
Because I made the I brought up a bunch of resistance by telling him, when he asked me should he cancel it, I was like, yeah, you probably should, right at the beginning. And so that's when I looked more like a salesperson. That's what a salesperson does. Try to get the sale. We're not salespeople. Well, you understand what I'm saying? We're not salespeople. We're advisors. Right. I'm the same as a doctor or an attorney. I got to look at all the information before I give them the recommendation.
But how did you leave that appointment? What made you not get the sale after you said that? You just said I'm not interested.
No, I mean everything just kind of went. Everything went as normal, but I built some really good rapport with this guy. He was laughing. He was telling me all about his wife that passed away 5 years ago. I mean, I built really strong rapport with this guy. He liked me a lot. And after I said that, this is a good policy. After that, he kind of did this, and he just wasn't really responding. Before, he was cracking up at my jokes, and you know, we just having a good time. It's like we've known each other forever, and after that, he's just like, you know, just not laughing, just kind of quiet. And then so I showed him the two options, and he told me like, oh well, you said that I should tell you yes or no, right? You wanted me to be honest. I'm just gonna keep this one that I have. I mean, he's not gonna say, yeah, I don't trust you because of what you said. He's gonna say that. Most people don't even know why they feel how they feel, but people don't go based on logic. They buy things based on emotion. You know. I wish they told me how to sell it better next time. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, you did this wrong. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys have any other questions? The jerk, the skeptic, and the follower. Jerk, the skeptic, and the follower. And so this is just the broad overview. We did kind of go into it a little bit, but it's kind of the broad overview of it. Keep it in mind at all times, and I'll do a lesson on each one individually. So.
I want to just say I love the way Mike will walk out on jerks, because I've worked for other companies that make you want to try to get a referral or you know, dig more, see if you can, like, there's a jerk, that thing's going to work. But they make you want to just keep beating your head up against the wall, because what do they care? There's your numbers. Right.
Yeah.
It's so nice to be able to just, okay, this is a lot, we'll just write it off and go on to the next one.
I mean, if you sit there and try, like, 1 in every 10 of those that I walk out of would be a sale, but guess what? It takes me an extra half hour, and then if I spend that extra half hour and try to pressure them into a sale, and I don't get it, my day is ruined. That's just me. Like, my day is ruined. Like, dude, I'm in such a bad mood. Like,
So does it hurt at the beginning a little bit?
But if the analogy is like a quarterback, you know, you get sacked, you can't be thinking about the sack next play. You got to get up, dust yourself off, and have a rosy outlook,
Right.
like it didn't even happen.
right.
But
So you don't even spend a ton of time with
then you get used to it.
You know what? Like
if there's some type of feeling you get.
you know what? In other sales, I would like get the feeling of rejection, but because of the way that the presentation is formed, to be honest with you guys, I don't feel like rejected or hurt. I just kind of like get frustrated, like, because they're just wasting my time. Like,
So it's kind of like I used to be a server, right? And some people would say no to me when I would give them my coffee. So it's the same way. Like someone told me I didn't get hurt, like that, right? Like I would go and someone would say yes, I want coffee. I would say no, I don't want coffee. Just like that, right? Okay. Just take off.
well,
Like an expression that you do, like you walk out.
yeah, no. I mean, I say, it looks like I wouldn't be able to help you. Bye.
Okay.
Looks like I wouldn't be able to help you.
Okay.
I can't help him. And by
This is
doing
a
that,
luxury. It's really a nice feature of this job that you can do that.
yeah. Yeah.
I really like that you have that option.
And then guess what? If they really are someone that's serious, maybe they just, for whatever reason, they've came across a lot of salespeople in the past, so they just have this wall built, and they really do want to buy it. They do like the product. Later on, you're going to have agents under you, and you're going to be able to give them some of your old leads, and those people that were serious, they're going to be like, oh man, I remember Mike. This guy was like, no BS. He walked out on me. He wasn't taking my, I'll think about it. Like, if I want this, I better just shut up and kind of do what they say.
Okay.
And it's funny.
Have you gotten anyone like you walk out and then they come after you? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't need to do that. No, none of them. Oh.
No, not at all. It's funny. When John came on board, I was like, dude, I've never ever had anybody call me back. Actually, I probably left up until this point probably like 6 or 7 business cards ever. And I have to like really believe them that they're going to call me back. And so there's this lady that I did leave a business card. I threw a magnet on her page, and it was like your first week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, she called me back, and I was like, I almost had a heart attack right there.
And she acted like you're like the best of friends.
and this lady was kind of rude, to be honest with you. She was kind of rude to me first time, and I walked out on her, but she like just kept on pressuring me for a business card. I was like put down a magnet. I was like have a good day, just so she'd stop asking. Yeah, when he came on board, it was the same week. She called me. She's like, "Oh, this is so and so." Like I'll know her like by name or something. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah. What can I do for you?" You know. And I didn't even know who it was until I was like on my way, and I was like, "Oh, I remember this lady." Once I came to the neighborhood, she signed up for like what was it, like $100 a month?
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, that happened once in a year and a half. Don't hold your breath. So I don't even waste the business card. Don't even have. Not gonna follow up with people.
Start thinking about the next play.
Exactly. We have a stack of leads, stack of people that want your help. Okay. Why am I gonna keep on following up with people that don't really see the need of my services and helping their family? No reason to. But yeah. Anyway, it's kind of like I'm giving you guys permission to be lazy in some circumstances, but you got to be lazy in the right way.
I had a sales leader really stuck with me and told me, you're not selling, you're sorting.
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
so many contacts, and a few of them are going to buy, and most of them aren't. And you talk to them, and you see which pile you're going to put them in, and you move on, and that's what you're doing. It's not about you, it's not personal. Just go in and you sort them out.
Yep.
It helps you overcome the rejection.
Yep. You're qualifying. You're trying to see who fits your model.
Who can I help? Who can I not?
If they don't fit the model of what we're looking for, I don't need your business. I got so many people in the stack that I know they're gonna buy. I know I have a certain amount of sales there. I'm not gonna. That's how it kind of gets after a while.
Another question is, how does hard track look in this industry? Is it better, like compared to other, like mortgage protection? Is there a lot of chargeback? Kind of that time, or?
So. To be honest with you, I've had a handful of policies on the books that they called me and wanted to cancel, and I told them to call the carrier, and they're still on the books today. Yeah. So maybe, I told them to call the carrier because they're going to want to be notified. They're going to want to talk to the client anyway, get a signature or something. So I'm not going to call the carrier. They're going to say, okay, we'll get this signed. I'll have them call in. They can deal with it. Maybe they changed their mind. Maybe they didn't want to do the work, whatever. But yeah, they never called me and asked me for the phone number. They're still on the books. But to answer your question, when I was what's it called? When I was in mortgage protection with America, it's kind of embarrassing. My persistency was about 75%. Mortgage protection.
That's like,
yeah. A lot more competition in mortgage protection. A lot more competition. And then keep in mind, to stay in business in mortgage protection, you got to sell simplified issues. Those products are twice as expensive, literally double than what they can get if they do fully underwritten. But if you sell everybody fully underwritten, you can't stay in business.
wow.
So you can't. It takes way too long. My first case, I had 2 or 3 months to get paid. Yep. And then people get declined more. It takes too long, so people decide they don't want it after a while. I lost a lot of business. So that's one of the things that drew me to Final Expense. They're approved on the spot. They get the policy number. So a lot more stays on the books. My persistency with one of the carriers is over 90%. So, yeah. So, yep. That was a company I sold 40,000. So 40,000 with the annual premiums, 90%. 90, over 90.
Oh, okay, right.
Who's your primary customer?
America. America is the go-to. I sign them up with America every single time, unless I know that America is going to decline them. And so I guess I have three secondaries with the AIG, Liberty Bankers Life, and Romance. So the four that I recommended that you guys get, I mean, if they don't, if I can't sign them up with America for those three, I mean, I use Trans-America from time to time for Direct Express, but I lose so much business. It's insane. I'm not even trying to convince you on that. It like breaks my heart. Like they get declined for no reason. You know, like in their underwriting guide, they say they'll approve someone, and for no reason they'll approve it.
Which Trans-America?
Companies that don't do instant approval. It's not straightforward because the ones that do instant approval, how they're able to do it is because it's all automated electronically. So when you submit a Trans-America application, there's an actual underwriter that's going to look at it. And so they have a statistic they have to keep. If they have a lot of people that die, if they approve, they start getting in trouble. So even though it fits the parameters, sometimes they just feel like declining them just because they don't want to take the risk.
Tuesday.
Yeah. And last week I went back and wrote three policies that I wrote up with Trans-America with America. They all got approved.
They all done?
With America. And Trans-America would have approved. And I have to use Trans-America when I have like 10 appointments in the day, and there's times where I'm like running behind because of traffic or something, and I don't have time to get my hotspot, do the America e-app a couple times for a couple. So I'll just pull out the Trans-America paper app, do sign within 3 minutes, and take it off. So just so you guys know, that's why that's one circumstance I use Trans-America. I regret it almost every time. Legitimately 3 cases last Friday. I had to go and rewrite.
Questions like, why am I doing this?
I mean, honestly, it's like I just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? Like, if I can't sign them up with these 4 carriers, like, I don't even want the business. It's going to be so much of a headache. One case that doesn't get approved, that you need an amendment on because you forgot to check a box. And that happens all the time for me. So one of those cases, it takes 10 times the amount of time that the regular client will take.
In Trans-America, doesn't cover them till 120, right? Only till 85?
No, they're covered at 121.
Oh, okay. So they're your final extent.
Yep. Anyway. That's all, folks.